Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask, Learn, Grow, Q&A, updates and insights shared by the team at Reef. I'm joined today with Robert Perez, who's one of our very talented SEO managers. And Rob is going to talk about share three killer tips for keyword research. So Rob, I'll hand over to you.
Thanks, Scott. Basically, keyword research is pretty much your most important part of your strategy. Because with keyword research, you have the choice of choosing what type of strategy you wish to undertake, and also whether or not it kind of fits within your resources that you have at the company. For example, with keyword research, if you were to choose a strategy that incorporates like a lot of long tail keywords, you should have some content writers within your company to be able to facilitate that as well. So it kind of allows you to kind of choose what kind of competition to get into, to choose what type of strategy to do, and it's really important at the very beginning of your strategy to do it properly.
So like the foundation really, if you like, and getting that right can make the difference between the sort of speed of the results that you'll see in many ways. And I believe you use Google Search Console as part of your own keyword research methodology, and to highlight certain areas to focus on. So do you want to talk us a little bit, talk us through some of those steps, and maybe even share your screen if you can do it live?
Yeah, sure. So there's a couple of ways to do keyword research. One is a very popular way of using Google Keyword Planner, which a lot of people are using, but the only problem with that is that you need to have a AdWords campaign running in order to see the specific details on the monthly searches. So it may not be a viable option for anyone that's starting off with keyword research and don't have an AdWords campaign. The other options are keyword research tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs. But the other way you can do it is by using Google Search Console. So by doing it this way, this strategy works well if you already have a site that's up and running. And pretty much the idea behind this strategy is that you use your website as sort of an anchor to be able to kind of already kind of figure out how Google interprets your page. Because the best kind of judge in what keywords you should be using is Google. So by looking at what you already have, you can kind of formulate a strategy and kind of figure out what's your strength and limitations on which keywords are targeted to which page on your website. Okay, so the first thing what we'll do in this process is that we'll go through and we'll click on a page that we have on our site. So what we would like to do, we'll click on our home page, and then from here we'll be able to determine what keywords are mapped to this certain page. So we'll click on queries, which is the next step. From here, we'll start to see what keywords we're currently ranking on. So you'll be pretty familiar with clicks, because clicks is typically what keyword people are entering through to your homepage. But what we're most interested in is impressions. So when we take a look at impressions, this is kind of think about this in a way where this is a prediction of what your future can be, and clicks is what presently is happening on your site. So if we kind of focus by impressions, we can see that this page can rank for digital marketing agency. It currently has 12 clicks, but the impressions, if you're not familiar with impressions, but impressions is pretty much how many eyeballs see your website. So from this, there's quite a lot of opportunity there to get a lot more clicks because your impressions is very high, but your clicks are not really close to that kind of benchmark where we have 5,204 people looking for that keyword, and we only have 12 clicks going to our site for that. So, but by looking at the keyword set, that would be a great keyword to target. And what I would end up doing is I would end up taking Digital Marketing Agency Sydney, and all these different variations of that keyword, and try to insert them on the page in a logical way, of course, to be able to bring more relevance to that keyword, and in turn Google should trust your site more in kind of understanding that keyword's appropriate for that page, and in turn rank you higher and bringing you more traffic.
Okay, thanks for sharing that, Rob. Some interesting ways of looking at keyword research there to add to any kind of existing methodologies that you might currently employ. One thing with keywords, just on the topic of impressions, impressions are going to be heavily influenced by not just visibility, but how many people are actually searching for those keywords at any given time. And just like anything, keywords search volume does often come with trends, seasonal trends, and event-based trends. So I believe you've kind of got something prepared to talk about that as well.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So this is quite evident, especially during the period that we're currently going through now with coronavirus, pretty much just changing the market and changing the way people search. So one important thing that you need to think of is that there's certain times in the year where people may search for your keyword more than other times in the year. And also keep in mind that like years can also play a part into it as well. So a keyword that is really popular last year may not be really popular this year. So this may be the case for some keywords, but not all keywords, but it's good to kind of keep that in mind that there may be expiry dates for certain keywords, or there may be growth period for certain keywords. So you can kind of align your strategy with being able to, choose a strategy that incorporates keywords that will kind of give you advantage when you kind of take into account like the time period of things. So what I would love to kind of show you is how I use Google Trends to be able to kind of predict how keywords will perform. Google Trends is a great tool to kind of give you an insight of how things are kind of performing with each keyword. So I'll give you an example. First example can be coronavirus. So coronavirus over here. So we insert this into Google Trends. Make sure you choose Australia. So if you were in the business of maybe providing support for coronavirus, you can kind of see from this that it started at January the 19th, 2020, and it kind of peaked in March 28, 2020. If you kind of go back by the last 5 years, pretty much there was no kind of activity at all until this year for that certain keyword. But if we kind of search for something more kind of in line with what we do, which is SEO Sydney as an example. So SEO Sydney kind of peaked at around, we have September 17th, 2016. So it peaked around that date, but it kind of still kind of got traction throughout the years. But we are at a down slope at the moment with that search term, but it is predicted to increase quite a lot over the next couple of weeks as well. So we can see if we go down by 12 months, we can kind of determine how strong this keyword in different periods of the year. So August is pretty strong for that keyword. We have October, it's our probably low point as well. And from this kind of graph, you can kind of determine, which parts of the year a keyword will best perform and also not perform as well. And another kind of tip for this as well is that if you were to kind of do Google AdWords, you can kind of predict how much budget you would like to allocate, at different parts of the year, and you can kind of also align this with maybe your content strategy as well. Where that if there's going to be a lot of people searching for a keyword at a specific date, can consider like Christmas, consider like Easter, consider all these kind of dates within the year that may increase traction for a certain keyword, or it may decrease traction for a certain keyword. So you can kind of build a content strategy in order to facilitate the need for people to consume content at a certain period in time. So timing is very important to make sure that you have everything ready in order to serve that information to people when they need it. So important tip there.
Fantastic. Great insights, Rob. Thanks a lot for sharing those. So just to wrap up, make sure the keyword research is correct from outset, because that's sort of like the foundation to the strategy, if you like. Use Google Search Console as part of that research process, and factor in impressions and the opportunity that might be available for a group of keywords. And then look at the keyword trends, because you may find that a keyword is just a one-off peak and probably not the best keyword or keyword group to target, or you might find something is trending downwards or about to spike upwards, so it might be good to kind of get in front of it. So yeah, really good. That kind of wraps up this call then. So thanks everyone for watching. If you've got any questions or you'd like to see us answer anything or cover anything in the future video, please feel free to let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified of when the next video is available. Other than that, I'll let you get back to your day and have a good one.